recombinant bovine growth hormone. Now that is a mouthful. It's also a synthetic growth hormone used to increase milk production in cows. It's banned throughout Europe, Canada, and several other countries, but it's legal here in the U.S. The question is, do Floridians have the right to know they are drinking it? Here to discuss a bill that would require labeling on genetically engineered foods is this hour's newsmaker, State Representative Michelle Rehwinkle Vasilinda, Democrat from right here in Tallahassee, where we're shooting newsmakers. Great to have you here.
It's great to be here. You're doing a public service to let everybody know about what we do up here.
Well, thank you. And like I said, quite a mouthful, but a serious issue. Why should we be concerned about this hormone?
Well, you know, I don't get into the science of it. What I know is that I had so many folks come to me of a diverse group, I mean just lots of different folks, that said we want to know what's in our food. And so that, I think, seems to be a fundamental right for people to know what's in their food, how it's grown, and what they're putting in their mouths to eat and what they're putting on their tables.
Yeah, and a lot of cow farms, a lot of agriculture, and in particular, there's discussion about the oranges and the citrus industry and possibilities of maybe genetically modifying citrus. Is that something that's come up in your discussions?
Absolutely, it's come up in our discussions, and we need to look at that. But I think people just they want to know. They want to have the choice, the liberty of being able to know what's in their food and how it's grown. And I think that's where I stop, because that seems very reasonable. And then everybody can go on from there and make decisions as to what they want to do and what they want to purchase and put on their tables.
Very interesting, and it's an issue that's been talked about around the country in many different ways. And Florida has its own angle.
Absolutely, and you know, this is something that's going on around the world. I mean, this is a worldwide movement, and I think Florida needs to make sure that their citizens get the right to know what's in their food and how it's grown. And I think, you know, I've had old hippies that I call fondly old hippies. I've had Christian right. I've had lots of folks who are very interested in this issue. So it's not one group, it's a very diverse group.
You're also concerned with the use of hemp. Now, medical marijuana in Florida just barely did not pass with voters in 2014, but you would like to see ways to use the hemp plant and make that legal in the state of Florida.
Absolutely. Medical marijuana got 57% of the vote, and so, you know, it just didn't quite get to the threshold that we put constitutionally, which was 60%. But hemp is a product that does not have the THC level to get anybody high. It is a product that can be used to make clothing, to make the BMW, from what I understand, the new Z4 dashboard is made of hemp. It can make plastics, all kinds of things, and it doesn't require a lot of irrigation nor a lot of pesticides. And here's the other interesting fact. The United States is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, importer of hemp, but it's illegal. Right. And so that seems, it doesn't make sense to me.
So the other things you'd like to talk about and discuss during the session are these upfront fees that utilities charge for future nuclear power plants. This has become an issue well. How is the legislature dealing with that?
Well, advanced nuclear cost recovery is a way for utility companies to charge up front for nuclear power plants that may never be built. Actually, some of them have not been built and have been taken off the drawing table before they've ever dug the first hole. And I think how the legislature is dealing with it is we've kind of nibbled around the edges. I've had a bill to repeal advanced nuclear cost recovery fees for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. And I think that's where we need to go, because if Wall Street won't support nuclear power plants, then we shouldn't be doing them. And there's many, many different things to look at now. We've got renewable energy, conservation, and efficiencies.
Well, what about renewable energy sources? I mean, we are in the Sunshine State, though. Florida is only 13th for use of solar energy. There's also proposals for wind energy. When do we move on? When do we start using these renewable energy sources?
You know, the rest of the country and the rest of the world is moving on without us, and we need to make sure that we get in line to do that, because we are the Sunshine State. That's Florida branded energy, solar, wind, you know, even tidal and wave are things that we should be looking at that other nations are already, have already implemented. And so these are things that we need to start looking at. And, you know, sometimes I think the utility companies don't know how to monetize that, and so they've backed off. And policymakers then have backed off, and that's unfortunate because we are on the wave of a new energy era as to how we can use energy and produce it.
Representative Rehwinkle Vasilinda will have to keep it there. Thank you so much for your time. She has been this hour's newsmaker. From Tallahassee, I'm Phil Latzman, and we thank you